Roll call as supervisors.
The 19 supervisors are present. Supervisors Nordigan, Nudo, Kubicki, and O'Day are excused.
All right, thank you. Next up is citizen comments. Please come to the podium, give your name and address, and then you have 3 minutes to speak. We do have a lot of speakers, so we're going to cut it to 3 minutes so that way everyone has a chance to speak. Go ahead and speak into the microphone so everyone can hear you.
All right, thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Gina Kakak, and I am the chairwoman of the Menominee Indian Tribe. I want to take the opportunity on behalf of almost 9,000 members, Menominee tribal members, to thank you for negotiating with us in good faith on an agreement that we think is both good for Kenosha and good for the Menominee tribe. I don't want to take up too much of your time as other Menominee and Hard Rock representatives will talk about the specifics of the project and provisions of the intergovernmental agreement that you will be voting on tonight. I want to thank the Board of Supervisors and especially thank those supervisors who took the time to visit our community. I always welcome any member of the board to visit us at our homeland in Kashina. Being an elected official myself, I understand the long hours you put in reviewing important issues to your community. As elected officials, we have a responsibility. I urge you to approve the agreement and help move the project forward. On behalf of the 9,000 members of the Menominee Tribe of Wisconsin, we thank you.
Thank you. Please state your name and address for the record.
Joey Wanape, N4460, Ceremonial, Neopet, Wisconsin. Also, Joey Wanape and Aswesian. I am a member of the Menominee Tribal Legislature and chairman of the Menominee Tribal Kenosha Gaming Authority. We are honored to be here today, and we thank you for your time once again for listening to our request and that you understand our needs. This project will be very, very beneficial for the Kenosha region as well as for the Menominee tribe. We ask once again this evening for your positive support on the IGA. Our tribe has negotiated in good faith with the county to reach a mutual beneficial outcome on this intergovernmental agreement. The Menominee tribe and its partners, Hard Rock International, plan to bring a first-class facility, Hard Rock, to the county of Kenosha. We have reviewed with you the scope of this project in great length. This project is anticipated $360 million plus investment, bringing thousands of construction and full-time employee jobs and over $300 million in positive annual economic impact to the region. Importantly, the intergovernmental agreements between local governments and the Menominee tribe, which will provide over $12 million of annual payments to the city and county, plus other additional special payments, such as $2.6 million for the new public safety facility, funding for responsible gaming in the amount of $750,000, and significant dollars for charitable donations of $850,000. Over the last week, we have conducted significant political outreach and have had extreme positive support. In fact, our polls show that we have received overwhelming support at 65% of the residents in the area strongly support and are in favor of this project. Additionally, our tribe is sharing a portion of the revenues with the county as the IGA requires the tribe to provide the following benefits to the county of Kenosha. 1% of gaming net win for the first 8 years. Starting in years 9, it will be 1.33% of gaming net win thereafter. This amount may be used by the county for any purpose that you all see fit. We understand that if the property were to be developed to its highest non-casino use, the total property taxes could be between $2.4 and $3.2 million. The county's share of this
You
property
have 10 seconds left.
property tax would be somewhere between $600,000 and $800,000 annually. Thus, approving the Hard Rock Casino project would provide the county with 3 to 4 times the annual revenue it would otherwise receive on the taxes of this property. Thank you for your time, and we ask for a yes vote.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, County Board of Supervisors, my name's Donald Deal, 5602 35th Avenue, Kenosha. Thank you for allowing me a chance to speak on behalf of Jennifer Blasi and her appointment as Director of the Veteran Service Office. I've gotten to know Jennifer over the last number of years, both as a member of the Post-21 Legion, as a Veteran Service Commissioner. I've gotten to work with her for emergent situations for veterans. And also on a personal note, as a veteran, I've had to use that office to file claims myself. I can tell you that Jennifer is knowledgeable, she's skilled, and she is more than dedicated to that office and that job and providing the benefits that our veterans so richly deserve. There's been times when I've been out at 7 o'clock in the evening and I've gotten a call from Jennifer about one of my claims. So I know she puts in the long hours. She works hard. She has a great plan. She wants to see that office be the best that it can be. And I believe that she is the right person for that job. So I'm here to ask you for your support and a yes vote for Jennifer as Director of the Veterans Service Office. But don't stop there, because that Veterans Service Office still needs your support down the road with other things to make that office everything that it can be. So I'm asking for your yes vote tonight and for your support for the Veterans Service Office in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Michael Bell, Lieutenant Colonel retired, United States Air Force, 3317 13th place. I'm going to play a quick audio for you. It's been playing on the radio. It's a retired police officer, Lieutenant David Kruger. You're going to hear him testify under oath that he was involved in a police shooting and that my son was shot on the left-hand side of the head. After I play the audio, I'm just going to hold up this banner to show everybody that they created a reenactment where they shot him on the right side of the head. I have pledged $100,000 to the community if the city of Kenosha releases the bullet that killed my son for further investigation. So here we go.
Officer, what side of the head was Michael Bell shot in? Left side. And you could see that because Officer Gonzalez was to your left? Yes, sir. And you saw Officer Gonzalez with his gun out pointed towards Michael Bell's head? Yes. And you saw the muzzle of the gun placed against Michael Bell's head? Yes. And is this the first time that you've given any testimony under oath concerning this case? Yes. And you understand the significance of giving testimony under oath in all matters, including this one? Yes, sir. The autopsy finding, Roman numeral 1H, reads as follows. Trajectory of wound path through head, body in anatomic position, right to left, front to back, and slightly downwards. Did I read that correctly? Yes, sir, you did. Is it still your testimony under oath that Officer Gonzalez was standing in front of the Nissan at the time he put a bullet into Michael Bell's head?
Yes, it is.
Is it still your testimony under oath that Officer Gonzalez's gun was pointing at the windshield at the time he put a bullet through Michael Bell's head?
Yes.
Is it still your testimony under oath that Officer Gonzalez had his gun pressed against the left side of Michael Bell's head when he shot?
Yes.
And is it still your testimony that Officer Gonzalez was never on the right side of Michael Bell at the time he pulled the trigger?
That's correct.
I'm going to show right here, a reenactment was created 6 months later, and you can fully see that then now they've changed their testimony and they're withholding a bullet. And I want to finally say is that crimes are not absolved by a civil settlement, especially murder. And John Morrissey and John Antarami are involved, and I've offered $100,000 to charity for the release of the bullet to an outside ballistics expert. Thank you.
Thank you.
Veronica King, 5518 34th Avenue, Kenosha, Wisconsin. Good evening. Last night, I sent each of you an email where I shared with you that I'm in support of the casino here in Kenosha. My only concern is, as a clinician, the ripple effect of gambling use disorder and the impact that it has on families. The articles that I sent you, scholarly journal articles that I sent you last night, clearly spell out how suicide, child abuse and neglect, bankruptcies, and other problems can result. So all I'm asking is that the county board consider creating a task force that can address the problems that can occur as a result of a gambling use disorder. And that task force should include a psychiatrist, psychologist, college professor, behavioral health technicians, someone in a leadership role in the school district, someone in a leadership role in child welfare, and other areas, someone that's in the mortgage industry, because people do lose their homes to foreclosure, and also even perhaps even a bankruptcy attorney can sit on that task force to share how gambling use disorder can impact all these areas. So my only request is that we have a task force in place before the crises hit, rather than wait on the crisis to hit to create a task force. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Steve Guillaume, HOA President, Strawberry Creek, 6717 144th Avenue, here in Kenosha. So I'd just like to remind all of you, as county officers, right, you're all elected officials, right? And so as this continues to embark and move forward, voters are going to be reminded of many things if this thing passes, and it seems like it will. But things I think that are important to address, and there are a lot of statistics across each of the casinos of the 12 of the 17 that are 150 miles radius. Crime and safety has increased. Right? All the cameras in the world that you're going to put around this casino are not going to address the crime and safety that's going to increase, and the statistics are all there to prove it. I'll give you a personal example of what we've seen as it relates to jobs, and we're saying with unemployment being at its lowest in decades, maybe ever. I had an example as the HOA president where we had houses harboring illegal aliens. We have an illegal alien problem here. We had people on the floor and sheets covering windows, and there have been numerous cases that before you, the Department of Justice, FBI, are all in and around the city of Kenosha, and our city officers are neglecting to recognize it. Additionally, all these jobs that are being promoted here, where are they coming from? They're going to come from out of state because there are not enough union workers to support all the construction needed. And what's that going to impact? It's going to impact manufacturing building, healthcare building, housing. We have a housing crisis here as well. What's that going to do? Going west of the highway, property values are going to decrease. It's been proven that home values have decreased between 10 and 20%. Let's look at homes around Sacramento. Let's look at River North, down where Bally's is created. Crime has increased as well, as mentioned before. Poverty and drug use continues to grow. How is that going to be facilitated by these wonderful greenbacks that you guys are shiny and excited to see? Right? This is going to be another Foxconn. I see it. The traffic study, we're continuing to wait to see the traffic study. If anybody's got it, please share it. It's been amazing that we're going to see 2,000 more cars and buses daily. There is a positive, though. As someone said at the city meeting, there's going to be all-you-can-eat buffets. That's great. Entertainment. Who's going to come to Kenosha?
You have 10 seconds left.
I value Kenosha. I believe it needs entertainment, but this is not the entertainment we need. So I ask you to vote no. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, County. My name's Kevin Krantz. I live at 16807 60th Street, Bristol, Wisconsin, approximately 2 miles west of the proposed site. My main concern is safety. I live 2 miles from where this is going to go. We already have traffic issues on 60th Street. We have accidents. We've had fatalities. The traffic has grown significantly over the past 3 years. This is certainly not going to help. It's a quality of life issue for the people in my neighborhood and for the people in Kenosha County. This is not going to add to the quality of life. I'm close to the state's attorney's office. I'm an attorney myself, and I'm close to the state's attorney's office in Waukegan. Their experience with the casino there has not been a positive one. It will increase crime. It will increase prostitution. It will increase child trafficking. There is just no question. It will increase DUIs. But I think the larger issue is what we're being asked to do, what this board is being asked to do is create a sovereign state independent of the laws of the county, independent of the laws, the statutes of the city, independent of the laws of the state of Wisconsin, a sovereign state in the middle of Kenosha. It makes, there's no logical geographical connection whatsoever to the Menominee tribe and where they're located. And once that's done, it's irrevocable. You can't change it. And I see a host of problems when you have increased crime. Who's going to enforce that? They may say that we can, but if there is a disagreement, that sovereign state wins. We have no recourse against them. I think that if we were being asked to create a 60-acre casino that would be the sovereign jurisdiction of Cuba, we probably would think that's not a good idea. But essentially, fundamentally, there's no difference. We have no control. You are ceding control over that property. And if things go perfectly, that's wonderful. My experience in life is things rarely go perfectly. And when it doesn't go perfectly, there are going to be a host of problems. And unfortunately, there's going to be darn little recourse that we have when things go south. And I would urge the county board to read carefully the letter that was provided to you, I believe today via email from the president of Pleasant Prairie. Very insightful.
6 seconds left.
And very prescient as to what's going to happen if this passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Todd Mulgard, and I live at 5623 37th Avenue, Kenosha, Wisconsin. I appreciate the council taking time to hear my opinion this evening. The entertainment venue, what does it mean to me? Well, it means that I will not have to drive to Milwaukee or Chicago to see quality live concerts. Kenosha needs a place where residents of all ages can go and see top-notch performers. We need to attract more visitors and businesses to our wonderful community. With a tourism hub like this, we can do that. It means that my money is being spent in the community I live in. It means that we can have large corporate and family events held here right now. We have Milwaukee and Chicago, and we need to be part of the future. I feel that this will bring a variety of restaurants to our area, and we can attract medium to large associations across the state and possibly regionally to hold their conventions in Kenosha. This is great for our community, and hope you will all support the project as I do. Thank you again for your time this evening.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Pamela Mundling of 7327 11th Avenue here in beautiful Kenosha. I want to thank everyone who played a part in last Thursday evening's get-together for questions and concerns. We should have started with that instead of trying to ram a vote through. Lesson learned for the next big project that comes through Kenosha, especially if it's controversial. Let's start with a get-together and a question and answer thing. While all of my concerns got addressed, they were not alleviated. Yes, there will be some good union trade jobs for a couple of years until the structures are built, and then those jobs go away. There's 4 parcels of land separated by busy access road and another road that are going to put us on the Milwaukee news as pedestrian versus vehicle makes an awful mess. I've never seen a car lose one of those encounters. Then there's the issue of what it is. There will be a casino put there. There may be a hotel and an entertainment complex, but a large part of what is planned is a large casino with 1,500 slot machines. That's a lot of slots. And 55 gaming tables for those who like a little personal interaction as they lose their money. And while it may be a personal choice to enter and to gamble, remember that society gets to deal with many of the issues related to gaming when they pay their taxes and all of the other baggage that goes along with it. There will be some good management and technical jobs, but the majority of the jobs will be low skill and lower wage. The $20 to $25 an hour offerings are a benefit wage package, not just wages. That's appropriate for the type of work to be done. It's amazing that in a county where you can get over 100 different college degrees and over 150 technical certificates, why aren't we creating the next Microsoft, Apple, or Amazon? Not attracting them, creating it. We have the education and talent base, we just don't do much to keep them around. Please keep these things in mind when you vote tonight, and remember, nothing happens without the blessing of the BIA and the governor. Soil gravel gets turned up this week, possibly not even this decade. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good evening. Pardon me. My name is Bob Terry. I'm a proud member of the Menominee Nation. The vast majority of the folks that I've been able to speak with are truly in favor of the casino for many various reasons. There are a few that are going to be against it because they apparently just generally oppose gambling, and everyone's right to their opinion, and I respect that position, but it seems to miss the point that gaming already exists in many forms in this community. A large casino has just been built in Waukegan, Illinois, just to the south of Kenosha. Forest County Potawatomi just expanded their casino facility and offers over 3,000 slot machines in Milwaukee, just to the north of Kenosha. I see slot machines in almost every restaurant and tavern that I've been able to visit in Kenosha. Every gas station sells lottery tickets. Kenosha residents practice their gaming in Milwaukee. They gamble in Waukegan. They gamble in Kenosha taverns. A Hard Rock casino will not introduce gaming to Kenosha. It will only slightly increase the gaming opportunities that already exist. The true change in gaming that a Hard Rock casino will bring is that currently Kenosha receives none of the economic benefits from this. That will change. The county will receive the benefits of new jobs, new sources of revenue. The source of these revenues will be gaming from, basically gamblers from Illinois. Over 60% of the revenue projected to the casino will come from Illinois residents brought into the town of Kenosha. The final issue that I have heard about is the opponents talk about increased crime. I hear them talk about it, but I don't see any true evidence of this from casinos, not from the casino itself. My experience with casinos does not include the perception of more crime. In fact, I find that casinos to be a public place with the most security for so many reasons, the most surveillance cameras. And because of this, a casino is the worst place to try to commit a crime. Casinos have been in Wisconsin for 30 years in communities all over the state, and I've yet to hear anybody suggest that a casino is what brought crime to the community. I think the Hard Rock Kenosha is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for both Kenosha and Menominee. I urge you to approve the IGA and help the casino move forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
John McCabe, 9115 160th Avenue in Bristol. I've been getting a lot of brochures and calls about the casino, what they're talking about being against it. If you look at the return address and the phone numbers, they're from a group in Appleton. I'm not sure why Appleton is so concerned about what's going down here in Kenosha. They've got a bunch of casinos up there they could take care of. So I'm in favor of the entertainment complex, and I hope they bring in nice bands. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is John Ingberg, and I live at 11986 247th Avenue in Trevor. And I grew up in Kenosha, lived in Kenosha County for 30 years. And I'm asking you to vote no regarding the Hard Rock Casino. I'm a pastor who deals regularly with the brokenness of humanity and help train people who are in need, including those who are struggling with addiction. And addiction, gambling addiction is rampant, and it devastates families, and I see it firsthand. One of the guys I'm working with gambled away $100,000, and his wife left him. I am trying to work with their family to get them back together. And he told me he has a hard time saying no to gambling. He's addicted, and yet he's trying to change. And so I ask you, have you interviewed people who are dealing with gambling addiction? 6, 10, 12 families. Have you talked to them about the effects of gambling addiction? It's real, it's strong, it's hard to break through. I read in this Journal Sentinel that the Potawatomi Casino in Milwaukee takes in $415 million a year. That's over $1 million a day that people are giving up that they could have used for something else. And so what I see is gambling produces weakness, dependency, and addiction. And it fractures families, it fractures society, it makes us dependent and weak. And so what I do is I would ask you to talk to people who are struggling to see how hard it is before you vote yes with something so important as this. So for the sake of the flourishing of our community, I ask you to vote no. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name's Tom Ryerser. I live at 11107 79th Street, Pleasant Prairie. I'm the Marketing Director for Tri-County Contractors and the Southeastern Wisconsin Building Trades Council. I have two issues to bring you tonight. First, I've been working with the Menominee tribes since the beginning to bring the casino to Kenosha. They are the poorest tribe in the state. The building trades are in favor of this project. It means a lot of work for all the trades. I'm not much of a gambler, but I look forward to all the entertainment, the restaurant, hotel, and convention center. Imagine all the jobs and revenue that will come to this community. Please vote yes for this project. The second thing I want to address about, someone brought up the issue about getting enough people to do this job. Well, the city of Kenosha and Racine have both passed ordinance on January 1st, 2024. It's called Responsible Bidders Ordinance, which will assure that any project in either city will have a state-certified apprentices on that job, on any one of their job sites. They'll help all the trades that their craft will be handed down and have qualified people and safe job sites for the future of the desperately needed work. We have a lot of work coming up in this area. To name just a few, Microsoft is coming here on the Foxconn site. Harbaugh is talking about another factory. Uline consistently keeps coming here. And hopefully the casino, hotel, restaurant, convention center will also. So if you are interested for this responsible bidder ordinance language, let me know. I'll get it to you. But this will reassure that the trades will keep on going and training people through the apprenticeship, not just on-the-job training. They'll get OSHA 10, first aid, all the stuff they need for their trade. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Steve Fredrickson, 2807 25th Street, Kenosha. 35 years ago, we had a Chrysler assembly plant that pulled out and ripped the guts out of this community. And a couple of years later, we had some folks from out of town come in. They were from Alabama. So they were from out of the area, and they promised a lot of the same stuff that we hear today. It was going to be a panacea. It was going to be a win-win. There was going to be all these jobs. There was going to be a tremendous amount of net benefit that came to Kenosha. And several years later, that dog track that was built, all kinds of promises were made, and the dog track closed up shop and moved out. So we should ask ourselves who benefited from that process. Consider how much effort has gone into drawing investment and businesses to our area, particularly our downtown by CABA, by Kenosha Area Chamber of Commerce, by the Kenosha Area Convention and Visitors Bureau. Museums, restaurants, shops, taverns, many of which are meant to entice people to drive east off of the interstate and spend their money with a city that 35 years ago was given up for dead. What is the likelihood of a casino visitor driving a few miles east before or after their gambling visit? I'm simply suggesting that we've heard this stuff before. I support the proposal that you are considering for a referendum and a vote by your stakeholders, the voters. I also strongly support the proposal that is being considered that would prohibit any direct financial benefit by those government representatives who will ultimately be voting to approve this proposed casino. There should be no pay to play here. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Superintendents. My name is Paul Pellizzari, and I'm the Vice President of Global Social Responsibility for Hard Rock International. I'd like to speak to some of the concerns that have been raised here tonight. Part of my job is to look at impacts on communities, specifically looking at safety, human trafficking, and problem gambling. So some of the concerns, it's understandable if a community has not had a casino, that there's going to be concerns about the types of crimes that are going to come to the community. The reality is that casino gaming's been in the U.S. for over 30 years. There are more than 1,500 casinos across the country, and all the studies show actually that crimes and some of the concerns don't materialize. Why is that? One of the big reasons is our investment in partnerships with law enforcement. Everywhere we operate, we have ongoing operational relationships with all the key law enforcement bodies that are in the area. We invest in our security personnel. The proposed casino here will have between 80 and 100 security personnel. They're highly trained. They monitor the entire area, and the areas around a casino get safer after they come in. We have technology, facial recognition, surveillance cameras, detection at the doors for weapons, license plate readers. A lot of these technologies are used by police forces, and over time, people forget about the concerns of these crimes rising after a casino's been in a community for a couple of years. In terms of responsible gambling and problem gambling, between 1% and 3% of the adult population will experience a problem with gambling. It's true. And some of the stories you hear about what happens are true. One of the things that's important about a well-run casino is that training our team members to look for signs of problem gambling and interacting with them is part of our business. We don't want problem gamblers. Our business is not premised on addiction. And in fact, we want people to play in a healthy way. And our programs train our employees to interact with those people. We promote education. We work with local bodies. The proposal to create a committee of the different professions that were around is a great idea. One thing I would suggest is that invite the casino to those kinds of committees, because we participate on those in all the jurisdictions where we work. Last thing I'd like to address quickly is human trafficking. That is a horrible crime that we do not want happening on our properties. And human trafficking, hubs of human trafficking are not created by the presence of a casino, but one of the things that we can do is when it touches our business, we try to combat it, we try to prevent it, and we try to intervene where we can. We train all of our team members to look for signs of human trafficking in the property, and it's specific by role. If you're at the front desk, we train you to look for certain signs of someone coming in. If you're on the casino floor, we want those people to look for the signs that trafficking may be happening on the casino floor. And we work with law enforcement, again, and that's a very important thing about our partnerships in the communities. We have just piloted and are rolling out across all of our properties a QR code to help victims who may be on the property. They can get help immediately.
You have 10 seconds left.
They can file a report to Homeland Security. It has led to 8 investigations to try to rescue victims from properties. So these are some of the steps that we take, and this matters a lot to us. We're owned by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. This issue is taken very seriously by them. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Randy Shane. I live at 7328 148th Avenue in Kenosha. That's Strawberry Creek. We're very close to the casino. And I can come up with numerous arguments against the casino. I'm vehemently against the casino, but I'll focus on maybe 2 things in 3 minutes. One is, it makes no sense. I was sitting there with my family this weekend watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy for probably the 5th time because we really like it. And as you know, if you know this story, there's this ring of power that everyone's enamored with, and it corrupts souls. This is the bright, shiny object, this casino, that ring was in that movie. Any of you elected officials who are enamored by this thing need to beware. This thing isn't going to be what it's made out to be. Also, you have already established within a mile and a half as the crow flies of this site neighborhoods that are there. You have 2 in Pleasant Prairie. You have, I believe, 5 as I counted them, and I'm referring to like Whitecaps, Horizons, and this sort of thing, Strawberry Creek, Heritage Heights, and these neighborhoods. You also have a small neighborhood in the Bristol area off 130th. They're already there. this was brought home to me, and my idea on like, why is this a bad idea? I left my house going out to Burlington. I had to stop for the school bus because they were dropping off the kids. This happened 2 days ago. And I just thought, well, this makes no sense. Here are all these nice family neighborhoods. There's a children's clinic across the street from where you're going to put this casino. There's other clinics, there's grocery store, there's apartment homes, one right going to be the next door neighbor. The school bus goes there as well in the reserve. And I'm thinking, this makes zero sense. There's already these family neighborhoods and family apartment buildings that exist there now. I'm very disappointed in the Kenosha City Council. I know that's not you, but have we totally abandoned a plan for the west side of the city for this bright, shiny object? Is there nothing else we can do? How come the people up in Tosa managed to put in Mayfair Landing where it's very nice? They have residential, nice apartments, they have brewery, they have another grocery store, which we really could use at that end of town. Woodman's, as big as it is busy probably right now as you go down there. We couldn't do anything more creative than, oh, Menominee Traipse down here once again with Hard Rock, and we're going to do the casino. It literally makes no sense. It doesn't fit. Would you put a residential neighborhood, a couple elementary schools, and residential apartments on Las Vegas Boulevard, which is the Strip? I don't think that would make any sense. I don't think the city council or county board there would say that's good. Let's put a casino. So I'm urging you to shut this thing down now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Shannon Chapman. My address is 1251 South Franklin Street, Shawano, Wisconsin. I am a Menominee tribal member, and I am also an educator, so I'm here to speak about the benefits for education within our community. I worked for 20 years at our Menominee Tribal School as a teacher and the principal and administrator. I also spent the last 8 years working as the Menominee Tribal Education Director. I guess before I get into my comments, I would like to say that we have a casino in our Menominee community, and I worked at that casino to support myself while I attended college. And I think that is really important because there's not a lot of employment opportunities in our area. And, you have people who are in college, young people who need to get a job and support themselves. And there are many good paying jobs within a casino. My son just got out of the Army. He served in the United States Army for 2 years and 2 years in the National Guard. Now he decided he wants to work at our casino. So he works as a slot technician, loves his job, so he doesn't have any, desire right now to go to school. He will, but I just want to say that having a casino allows people who are in our situations to have that employment. So getting back to our tribe and education, our tribe has significant and very important needs that are not being addressed because we lack resources. Approval of this agreement will put this project on a path towards federal and state approval, both of which are needed. The tribe and the county would both benefit from this project. For example, the county will receive economic revenue. You'll receive millions in payments from the tribe, and our tribal members will benefit by having additional resources to help us meet some of our pressing needs. Some of those needs are as follows. We need to improve the infrastructure of our schools. The Menominee Tribal School where I worked, very old school. There are issues with the foundation. The BIA is not helping with, building new buildings. So right now we keep doing patchwork. We have 200 students that attend that school. So we would have, if we had revenue, that would allow us the ability to be able to repair or possibly build a new school for the children. Other priorities include increasing school safety, providing access to nutrition and mental health services, improving our overall curriculum and upgrading educational resources. It's no secret that Menominee Indian School District and the Menominee Tribal School have, we've been in need of improvement on a DPI report card for years. If we have resources to attract and retain highly qualified teachers, that would allow us to combat some of those issues. We are working on Menominee language and culture revitalization, attracting and providing professional development opportunities throughout the tribe, increasing access to funding and ongoing support for higher education and job training.
You have 10 seconds left.
And expanding our extracurricular education educational opportunities from birth through college and beyond. We all know that education is a key to personal and economic development and economic advancement, and your support of this agreement will help us meet these needs and provide a quality education to our tribal members. Please vote yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Chair, County Supervisors. My name is John Hawley, 1914 21st Street, Kenosha, Wisconsin. I am a business representative for Laborers Local 113. For the past few meetings, I have listened to constituents' remarks for the proposed casinos to be built. All I've heard is about is crime, gambling addictions, and drunk driving related to the casino the Menominee and Hard Rock wants to build here in Kenosha. Addressing the crime, we have crime all over the city. Shootings, robbery, stolen cars, muggings, and too many others to count. My point is crime can happen anywhere in the city and in anyone's neighborhood. Jobs, it's been said that there will not be enough workers to fill all the positions available when the casino opens. No one complains about companies like Uline, Amazon, etc. building now and in the future. Should we stop these projects from starting? If Hard Rock wanted to build just a hotel, conference center, and live event, we wouldn't be having this conversation. There are two projects being built close by the casino and a project just south of the proposed casino ready to break ground this spring. I have not heard one complaint against these projects from any constituents. The constituents who are voicing their opposition say they don't want to have a place with vices and any other kind of gambling. Look around Kenosha. I believe there are more slot and gaming machines and establishments with liquor entertainment license than the Menominee and Hard Rock will have in the casino. We have quite a few many casinos already in Kenosha, and they only pay $100 a year for each machine. This is the third time since early 2000 a casino has tried to be built. Other casinos in the surrounding vicinity are hoping to stop this project again from becoming a reality. I ask you not to let this happen again. The city since has lost millions of dollars in revenue. Since early 2000s, our taxes have gone up. Could our taxes have been lower if the casino was built back then? We'll never know. The economic impact this project will bring to the city cannot be understated. Area constituents have gone to other casinos in the area. Let's give them an entertainment complex we can be proud of and keep Kenosha money in Kenosha. Some of the entertainment that other Hard Rock Live has or will be are Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Jerry Seinfeld, Frankie Valli, Tim McGraw, Tim Allen, Commodores and Spinners, Blue October, and the Eagles, just to name a few. To see these acts, we would have to travel far. Area constituents visit other casinos and take their entertainment dollars elsewhere because they're looking for an exciting place to visit. Once again, let's keep Kenosha money in Kenosha. Myself, I look forward to a world-renowned entertainment complex with major acts in our city. In closing, I urge you to consider voting yes for the construction of this casino and entertainment value. For the third time since early 2000, I vote yes on the casino project. Thank you for your time to listen to me.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Sheriff David Zerner, 11203 43rd Avenue, Pleasant Prairie. I appreciate the time limit. I will be brief. We had some opportunities to talk to several county board supervisors. I received phone calls from several that I never had a phone call from. I appreciate that. We had made some comments at the meeting a couple weeks ago, reference our ask in this IGA, and I wanted to be clear that I thought there were some people had some ideas that we had too low of an ask. That was not the case. We kind of shot up out of the park a little bit, and no one took any eraser to it, and I appreciated that. So to let you know, we've asked for 6 full-time employees, 4 deputies, 2 detectives, a bomb dog. We don't have a bomb dog. It's kind of a special thing, especially with the venue coming, if it's coming. So I wanted you all to know that the conversations that we've had with the law enforcement, actually, I talked to the head of security from the Gary facility. I'm very excited about how robust their technology is. So if we do have a partnership with this casino, we'll be there, and we're talking about the impact in the traffic. That will be, a lot of that will be us, because we're there all the time, the sheriff's offices. So know that. The other thing I wanted to point out, Kenosha is not a stranger to human trafficking. We had a very young girl, a 15-year-old girl, who was trafficked across the country just within a couple months. We did a great job. We were able to get her, but some of the information lacks for children in part of our quest for finding out exactly how they help in the human trafficking arena, because they're an international organization, They actually have a training for students. They've taught 1.2 million kids this training already, which I jumped right in and asked them if we could do that here. Can we get that? And they agreed. So if we can, we'll be working. We would try to work with Unified and our West End schools to get every high school student trained in that training, so what to look for online. So I know that's a big, the human trafficking is a big component, and a lot of people here are worried about it. So I wanted everybody on the county board and in the community to know that I'm ready to address that. It's a big worry for me as a sheriff and as a father. So thank you for your time, and I want you to know that we're ready to work with them if they're coming. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Spencer Gothier. My address is W112 County Road VV, Kenosha, Wisconsin. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Board Supervisors. I am an enrolled Menominee. I serve on the Menominee Tribal Legislature as a secretary. I'm a member of the Kenosha Gaming Authority. I also, my day job is Assistant General Manager of Menominee Casino on the Menominee Reservation. So, that being said, we have quite a few people here tonight on our behalf. We have professionals, we have experts. You're going to hear a lot of data, you're going to hear a lot of information. We have everything that we could possibly bring to the table to alleviate, to address, and to answer some of the things that are being brought up. And I will be frank with all of you. I'm just exhausted with conspiracy theories, disinformation, outside interest, and fringe politics. And I really long for the day when normalcy and civility returns to our political systems. So, moving on from that, myself and some of the people that are here tonight, we're going to talk about the personal interest, the personal stories of what this is, you know. And what's on the agenda is an intergovernmental agreement, and we're not asking for if you think casinos are good or bad. We're extending our hand forward in partnership, because that's the way we look at this. This is a relationship, this is a partnership, and we want to ensure that our partners are comfortable with this agreement. They're comfortable with the relationship that we are going into, so that everybody benefits. We don't want anyone hurt by this. We want everyone to feel comfortable with what's going forward, you know, because we have a lot of issues on our reservation. You know, no one's going to get rich off of this. This is going to help us address the issues we have back home. You know, and I had some conversations with some of the board members here. You know, when it comes to budget season for us, we don't have fat to cut. We have to decide which programs get cut every year. It's a painful experience. You know, we don't, I would love for us to one day have a budget that we can work with where we could fund a program and be confident that we're going to be able to see it through, and we're going to be able to provide the services that our people need. That's why we're here tonight. There's a lot riding on this. A lot of people have given us their hopes, their prayers, and encouraged us. This is emotional for a lot of us because there's a lot riding on this, because we've been suffering for a long time. This is going to help us in a big way. So I'd like to ask all of you for a vote of conscience, and I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak?
Good evening. My name is Anthony Kennedy. I reside at 4223 29th Avenue, and I'm represented by the best county board supervisor ever. December 22nd, I had an open house meeting, and members of the Menominee tribe came, and members of my district were able to speak to them and ask questions and have an understanding of what this project is about. You as county board supervisors have a very difficult vote in front of you. You have no paid shill running around with placards and things yelling at you. You have no what you have is your constituents. What you have is your representative. What you have is a responsibility to the county. The city took the vote. It was 11-6. We passed the IGA. We passed the intergovernment agreement between the Menominee and the city of Kenosha. We struck the best deal possible for our constituents. There's going to be some amazing opportunities with this project, but there will also be some challenges. I personally believe that the challenges are minimum and the opportunities are great. Tonight, as you deliberate, as you take your vote, I want you to think about this. There was a time when Kenosha needed this project, and yet Kenosha has survived. We don't need this project as much as we did at one time, but you know who do? Our fellow members of the Menominee tribe. You've heard them talk about the infrastructure they want to invest in their community. You've heard them talk about the opportunities to provide for their well-being. I'm a man of faith. I thank God for the opportunity that God has given me. I thank God for the opportunity to serve. I thank God for the wondrous things God has done in my life. But one of the things that God has allowed me to be an instrument of God's grace and God's will in this world. I have been given an opportunity to help, to serve.
You have 10 seconds.
A yes vote. When I took that yes vote at the city of Kenosha, that was an extension of a belief system where I'm going to help people and help them help themselves. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? Anyone else wishing to speak?
Hi, I'm Mike McTurnan, 6633 Green Bay Road, Kenosha, Wisconsin. As you're aware, the city of Kenosha approved an IGA earlier this month, but failed to protect the community by ignoring several key issues. You have an opportunity tonight to not make that same mistake and protect Kenosha. One, you've heard tonight that hard rock is key to this project. If I've heard it once, I've heard it 1,000 times. This is only a good deal if hard rock is in it. Even the chairman mentioned during the city hall, they bring the gold standard to the community. If that's the case, make one simple change to your agreement. Add Hard Rock, and if they walk, the IGA is terminated. Confirm that the tribe's commitment to cover infrastructure costs is in your IGA. The chairman stated they'll pay for core infrastructure, mediate traffic concerns by paying for road improvements and expansions where necessary. Your IGA doesn't say anything about that. Matter of fact, the tribe promised you a traffic study, and the vote on this IGA was delayed in part on the representation that you'd have that by tonight. You don't. At least insist on your IGA that there's clarifications as to exactly what they mean when they say they will pay for infrastructure. Number 3, include an effective termination right for the Kenosha County. It's a big loophole in the agreement. It allows the Menominee to terminate the agreement if they don't get approval at the state and federal level. But how about if Hard Rock walks? The contract should terminate as well. Prevent Hard Rock from competing against Kenosha. We've been told Hard Rock is coming to Kenosha, but what's to prevent them to go right down the street over the state line and compete against this facility in Illinois? Then what are we left with? They have a non-compete agreement they signed with Rockford. Why aren't we doing the same? They have a non-compete that the county can't compete with the casino. Why isn't it good for the other? The condition of approval should be based on a binding IGA, on a binding referendum. 223 Wisconsin Act 12 limits what issues the county may put forward on a binding referendum, but clearly the county can ratify the resolution tonight and make it pass contingent on the results of a referendum. That is permissible under the act. Number 6, and this is big, and I don't know why this isn't addressed. Restrict unethical behavior. I read your IGA today. You make one simple change. But the problem is the only party that's restricted is Menominee. Hard Rock can hire people that are elected bodies and not be bound by this conflict. Add some teeth to it as well. If they violate it, the contract's terminated. And finally, I bring these boards. They've shown you the picture there of how this casino fits on this project, but I present here how the casino doesn't fit. Where are the waterways going to be? How are they going to build according to setbacks?
Your time is up, sir.
Traffic around. The answers, I went to your county meeting and asked these questions, and I didn't get a single answer to any questions I presented. As the director of the Office in Gaming, I'll end it with this. Paula Hart informed the county last December in an email. There is no time limit when negotiating an IGA with the tribe, and in some cases, those agreements are entered into once the land is in trust. Also, there is no time bar from entering into that agreement, and nothing says you have to enter it just because the city did. Be a leader, take your time, and address the issues that will protect the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mary Wanta, 6328 40th Avenue, Kenosha. I had not thought about speaking tonight until a few minutes ago, but I feel very strongly that this needs to be up to the residents of Kenosha, whether or not this goes through. A couple of reasons. One is very personal to me. I have daughters. One of them was here tonight, and another one is home. And I'm concerned about the trafficking that's going on. We know that that's an issue in Kenosha. And also, I'm worried about the rest of our residents in Kenosha, too, because it seems like the profit from this casino would be due to how much people lose. So it's not like we're producing anything. It's based on people's misfortunes, which I think is kind of sad. I think we need to have some other kind of industry where it's more profitable and more of a positive thing for people and not based on people's losses. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do I have to write my name here? And there's, okay.
Hi, I'm Father Dwight Campbell.
the pastor of a couple of Catholic churches here in town, Our Lady of Mount Carmel, where I live, 1919 54th Street in St. Therese Parish. And after having read the Sunday newspaper, I was impressed by Terry Rose's comments being quoted there. I called him, I spoke with him, told him I agreed with them, and I'll just offer a few comments of my own, okay? I know that one of the arguments for this casino is jobs, but you know, these jobs are not skilled labor. They'll be low-paying jobs. The gamblers will spend money in the local stores, motels, restaurants. Well, I think the revenue projections are probably a little inflated. The Sunday paper talked about 11 years out what the revenues will be, and finally, you know, the tax gains revenues from this. I think the social costs outweigh the monetary benefits, if you want to call them that. You know, as a Catholic priest, I'll just say that the Catholic Church doesn't say that gambling is wrong, but it can become a passion for people and an addiction. And we know that it's linked to other crimes, the gambling, you know, drugs, prostitution, sex trafficking. I'm sure you've heard this tonight. As the promoters admit, because those who are promoting this endeavor have talked about the need for more police to deal with the crime, the social service agencies to deal with the gambling addictions, the family problems, breakdowns, debt, bankruptcy, all this. I had an uncle who was addicted to gambling and ruined his family, ended up embezzling money, went to jail. And you know, pathological gambling, an acknowledged disorder by the Psychiatric Association of America. You know, they've acknowledged this for many decades, and you know, for those living within 10 miles of a casino, rates of this pathological gambling more than double. You know, there are all kinds of statistics I could quote. I'm just going to end, I see 13 seconds left. I'd like to see Kenosha take steps to be a more kind and friendly community, like George Bailey's Bedford Falls. I think bringing a gambling casino to our community, to this county, will result in a more a cold and mean atmosphere, more like Pottersville. I think we'd rather do the former than the latter. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak?
Hello, Colleen Murphy, 7912 160th Avenue, Bristol, Wisconsin. To those of you who are intellectually able to see the damage this casino will cause, I thank you. I thank you for your hard work. I know it's an uphill battle here in Kenosha. I just want to say, a casino will only come here to milk the vulnerable and disadvantaged in our community like a cow. Why don't we have a referendum on this issue? If this is so popular, why are we afraid to have a referendum? Why haven't these citizens had a chance to speak? I can tell you, people in my community do not want this, especially people who have families. A casino is wealth repellent. It will irrevocably damage our local economy, and reputation is a nice place to locate, which we have worked so hard to foster over the past 20 years, since the last referendum. Bringing in a casino is economic and reputational suicide for Kenosha County. You will never see a nice community invite a casino to town. The IGA is sloppy. There's no hurry. There's no reason to rush this. At the very least, you guys should be delaying this until much more information is known and that thing is fleshed out better and some holes are patched. And you shouldn't be doing so until you've had a referendum and let us speak about what we do and do not want for our community, since we are the ones who have invested our net worth here. And lastly, I'll just say again, you have one job, and that is to protect your current residents and their investment in this community. And if you support this casino without doing your due diligence and taking your time and letting us have a say, then you are doing a disservice to the people that elect you, and you are damaging their families and their futures. So regardless of your personal feelings on this, until the citizens have had a say, and until you've cleaned this up and done some due diligence, this should not be rushed. It looks very bad for our elected officials who support it right now.
Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Board of Supervisors. My name is Lauren Gill on behalf of the Menominee Nation, as well as Hard Rock International. It's such a pleasure to be here. I am an advisor and a consultant to this project, and I'm very proud to work with two distinguished groups. Certainly leaders in the industry at Hard Rock International, the most well-known, highest reputation brand in the country, and frankly around the globe. And second of all, the Menominee Tribe of Wisconsin, I have been blessed, I have been touched in the heart by being able to be surrounded by such great quality people. I've been to their reservation, I've worked with them for nearly 3 years on this project, and I'm just honored to be here and ask for your support of this project. A couple things I wanted to share. These facilities bring great economic benefit to the region. They bring great jobs, great business partnerships, and great opportunities for people to grow their careers. And I'm a living example of it. I grew up as a poor farm boy in Illinois, and over the years I've worked over 20 casinos across the country. And I'm honored to work with this team because I tell you what, we do grow careers. We do grow great jobs for people. And you know what? We also provide great relationships. And that's what I think is really, really important, is relationships in the community. In each of those communities I've worked, I've had the great pleasure of building partnerships with regulators, law enforcement, as well as people in the community who are business owners, suppliers, and vendors. But most importantly, we take care of our employees. We provide great jobs. We do a lot to partner with communities in things like charitable donations. We do things like when a community needs help, we support them with arms, hands, and hearts to help give them really, really positive experiences when people need help. But I will also tell you this, it's about relationships, but it's also about partnerships. And some of the most amazing positive partnerships come within the community, especially with places we heard about law enforcement before. Law enforcement is so critical to partnerships. We meet with law enforcement on a monthly, weekly, as-needed basis to be able to provide support and help in the community. And I think finally, one of the key pieces really is about our care and desire to be really good community citizens. That's very, very important. You know, we've heard a lot of opposition say things that many times have not been founded. One of them is traffic, and I just want to speak about that one. Traffic, we estimate from our advisory services, I'm an advisor and a consultant to Hard Rock and to the Menominee, as well as other businesses. We estimate that to be 2,500 to 3,500 cars a day.
You have 10 seconds.
Whereas we see on 50th, it's over 30,000 cars and 100,000 cars that go up I-94. So in comparison, 25 to 3,500 a day is simply a small issue. But again, thank you. We encourage your positive vote and support of the Menominee and their Hard Rock Casino. Thank you very much for your time and your support.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? Anyone else wishing to speak?
Joseph Clark, 4862 105th Place, Pleasant Prairie. I'm not here tonight to speak for or against the casino. I just want to say, when I was a county board supervisor, I spent hundreds of hours negotiating with the Menominee. And I will say, if there is going to be a casino in Kenosha, it has to be the Menominee. They're very well deserving of this. When the Hard Rock got into the game back then, it was a game changer. So there's no question in my mind about the operators, but there were a lot of valid points in issues raised. The process, I'm very critical of the process that the county had this since May. And the county executive and the leadership of the county board decided it was best to keep it close to their vest. In blindside the rest of the county board and the rest of the community. It's not the way you go about it. When we did this all those years back, it was out in the open. We had a committee appointed. It was open to the public for months and months and months. There was a lot of debate on the casino. There was a lot of debate on whether we should have a referendum. I supported a referendum, as I told my constituents. If there was an issue of this magnitude facing the community, I would give them a voice. I'm not saying I'm for or against, but I think you guys need to take the time. And if this was passed in a month or 2 months or 3 months and there was public input, more time to look at it, that's what I would do. The county executive negotiated from a point of, if we don't get on board, we're not going to have anything. That was the same thing that was told to me years ago, and I said, try it. They're here. They're holding these community meetings because they need the county. And I'm not saying to take any more advantage or try to take any more money. It's about making sure you get it right. When I spoke to the county executive, and she thanked me for the work we did back then in the playbook that they dusted off to look at, I just told her, take your time, give the community time, and get it right. So thank you very much for the work you are about to do. Just take your time, get it right for the community. And if there is to be a referendum, it's passed twice. I think the community will support it. But times have changed. Thank you very much and good luck.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is John Lucas. I'm Chief Operating Officer for Hard Rock International, and I'm here to show support for the Menominee Tribe, also to answer any questions that you may have during the course of this proceeding, and to let you know that we, to echo what some people have said, we are good corporate citizens. We give back to the communities that we serve in. It's very important to us. We look to partner with local vendors to provide services to the casino. So there are a lot of good economic things that can happen. We ask, put that in quotations, we ask our senior leadership to serve on boards in the communities that we are in. So it's not just about writing checks. It's not just about lip service. It's about giving human capital back to the communities as well, human resource. And so, we are extremely involved in diversity, and we focus on all groups and veterans, people with disabilities, and minority groups, and so we do a lot of initiatives to accomplish that. But it's very important for us to give back to the communities that we're in and be a part of those communities. And as Lauren said, we're about partnerships, and so we don't just go in there in a vacuum. We go in, we don't build slots in a box, we build facilities that are entertainment facilities. We provide great restaurants, whatever level that restaurant is, whether it's a food court or a food hall or casual dining or fine dining. We provide nightlife and entertainment. We provide hotel rooms. We're about hospitality. We are a hospitality company, and yes, we do have slots and tables, but we build much more than that, and we will display that if you give this opportunity. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? Anyone else wishing to speak?
Andreas Meyer, 5717 34th Avenue, Kenosha. I'm really not for or against the casino. If the community wants it, build it. But obviously, we've heard that there are some concerns about the casino, economic impacts, crime. It wouldn't hurt to just do, maybe a little bit more research. We can have an environmental impact analysis. We could even have a second opinion on a economic impact analysis. We could do a crime study. We could do all sorts of things. I think that might help, alleviate a lot of these concerns. We've had a few cases, in the county and in the city where adequate research has not been done, and we've had some mistakes with that. So yeah, I think maybe if we just did a little bit more research, that could be very beneficial to the community. And I also support releasing the Michael Bell bullet. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak?
Good evening. My name is Kathleen Gavry. I live at 7940 130th Ave, Bristol. And I've heard a lot of information, seen a lot of presentations about this project. It's exciting. But from the other perspective that I also see is I've been questioning the security, and I've been assured that on site there's going to be lots of cameras, lots of security, there's going to be extra law enforcement hired. But I live in a subdivision, and there's a couple other subdivisions that are like a mile away. When whoever drives away, and this will be big, it will be a magnet, it will draw a lot of people. And my fear is it's going to draw crime, it's going to draw things that are not, not desirable for our communities, but it's going to be opportunity. And when they drive off of this property, they're going to be next to my home. I'm afraid. I don't feel safe. If I call for help, it's going to be reactive when it gets there. We're supported by the county sheriff, and they cover miles. I just don't feel that this is the time or place. This is prime property by the highway. Uline, Harbo, Amazon, there's a lot of growth. It could bring better jobs for us, and I think it would be a better environment. Please vote no.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak?
Good evening, Madam Chair. My name is Scott Frederick, 504 13th Street, Kenosha, Wisconsin. I'm also a village board trustee for the Village of Summers, here to talk today about the casino. Initially, just like many of the other folks that spoke tonight, there's a mix of pro and con of citizens in Kenosha County for this casino. We're sympathetic to every one of them, but we listen to all of them also. As a village board trustee, we see and vote on the same type of situations, not at this magnitude, but you folks have a big vote tonight. Listen to your constituents, listen to your votes, listen to your people in your districts. You represent them. This is not something you personally want or something that you have a direction for. This is something the people that voted for you rely on you to make that right decision. I can also say that as a village board trustee, one of the things I'm concerned with is making sure there's communication between the villages around the casino and the city to Kenosha. I've had a couple of debatable arguments and talks with some folks in local government, and I would prefer to see us get along and talk and communicate more, both between the city level, the county level, and the villages. As far as this village of Summers, I'm interested in knowing what the impact study is going to look like. I'm interested in knowing what the water is going to look like. I'm interested in knowing many, many things. A lot of them are debatable, such as the crime statistics that are being thrown out, the gambling addictions that are being thrown out, the tax ramifications that are being thrown out. That's all debatable. But what's not debatable is your constituents put you in office to make a decision based on their input, not yours. So good luck to you tonight on your vote. I kind of do support the referendum that Mr. Rose had put together and mentioned. The citizens will speak, but you have a job to do, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? Anyone else wishing to speak?
So, Gary Bisa, Kenosha, Wisconsin, former two-term chairman of the Menominee Tribe and currently vice chairman of the Menominee-Kenosha Gaming Authority. Thank you for the opportunity to discuss the benefits of the IGA. We understand the impact of the Kenosha community is of the utmost importance to you, but I wanted to humbly close with why the project is so important to the tribe. Menominee has 9,000 members. The tribal government has responsibility on the reservation for all the same governmental services as a city, county, or state. The tribe tries to provide services on a meager budget. It's disheartening to report we simply do not have the resources to provide for our citizens. In addition to a large number of tribal members and a significant amount of public services we must provide, we face a number of unique challenges such as the opioid and other drug and alcohol-related problems, high dropout rate, significant health problems, and high poverty. In fact, the poverty rate in Menominee County is 20%, the highest in the state. The health rankings of Menominee County is the worst in the state. This is why I have been dedicated to this opportunity for over 20 years. This project would deliver over 10 times the revenue to our tribal government as the existing small casino on the reservation. The tribe would use this money to build schools, improve roads, build additional facilities for our precious elders and youth, a new health clinic, public housing, home ownership support, and many other things. We will not use the revenue from the project to provide significant individual cash payments to tribal members. In fact, during our previous attempt to approve a Kenosha project, our government passed a resolution that dedicated tribal revenues to be first mandated to upgrade and update our aging infrastructure and the needed services for membership to stand up and succeed. We realize that the ability to improve the lives of the Menominee is not your most important issue. You should know, however, that our profits from the business will go to help the poorest community in the state. We are sincere in our statement that to be good for Menominee, this project must be good for Kenosha. We believe that this IGA memorializes and ensures that to be the case. County Board Supervisors, you collectively have the unique ability and power to approve this IGA and start the path to empower our tribal nation in many different ways. The Menominee will be changed forever, and our 9,000 tribal members who will be uplifted and stood up will thank you for everything that you have helped us with. And please believe me, and you are more than welcome to visit our reservation, as several of you have already. We thank you. We thank you for the time and the respect to listen and hear us out. Moanan.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? Anyone else wishing to speak?
Sarah Kirby, 7121 23rd Avenue, Kenosha, Wisconsin. I actually came here tonight not intending to speak. I came here to listen because I wanted to hear what people had to say about the deal. But I have actually read the entire bill, and in my personal opinion, it's a very good deal for the County of Kenosha, for the City of Kenosha. And I've actually heard a lot of people talking about we should have a referendum to decide whether or not we do this. As of June 20th, Act 12 in the state of Wisconsin, we are no longer allowed to have advisory referendums on the ballot. But in 1998, the Kenosha approved having a casino within Kenosha by 56%. 57% of voters again voted to have a casino in Kenosha in 2004. Just some of the benefits, go back to my notes. Some of the benefits of the casino are obviously, we are going to get a significant portion of the win, which includes guaranteed payments in year 1 and 2 of $100,000, regardless of whether or not anything's happening in the casino. And then starting in year 3, we get a minimum payment of $1 million per year. I think that sounds pretty good as far as them thinking they're going to be making money. It also includes a provision that will help fund our public schools. We'll get $750K per year if we go above a certain amount of the net win. Either way, I did want to encourage the board tonight to please approve this deal. I think it is incredibly fair. Whether or not this is approved is not really up to us. What we get, what we agree to with the Menominee tribe is what we're agreeing to tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? Anyone else wishing to speak? Anyone else wishing to speak? Seeing none, citizen comments are closed.
Madam Chair, I move for 5-minute recess.
Second. I have a motion for only 5 minutes? Yeah. 5-minute recess and a second. We'll recess.